Welcome to the Social Lens and thank you for watching. In a recent keynote address at the KMF Annual Forum held in Drakensberg, South Africa, Finance Minister Godongwana delivered a stark assessment of the country's public finances. The ominous warnings of an impending fiscal crisis have sent shockwaves through the nation, raising concerns about the implications for the average South African. With government debt levels soaring and economic growth falling short of expectations, Minister Godongwana's revelations point to a critical juncture for the nation's economy. Finance Minister Godongwana's address shed light on the current state of South Africa's public finances. He provided a sobering assessment of the nation's financial health. A primary concern highlighted by the minister was the staggering government debt, which currently stands at a colossal 366 billion rands. The burden of servicing this debt, including interest payments and principal repayments, poses a severe risk to the government's available resources. As debt levels rise, an increasing portion of the budget must be allocated to debt servicing, leaving fewer funds for critical public services and infrastructure projects. The minister's warning underscores the urgency of addressing this issue to prevent further erosion of the government's fiscal capacity. Minister Godongwana's address also signaled the government's intention to continue borrowing to stave off a potential financial catastrophe. While taking on additional debt may seem counterintuitive in the face of already high levels of indebtedness, it is a strategy aimed at avoiding a massive reduction in government expenditure and averting the risk of running out of money. The minister's allusion to the pursuit of additional borrowing underscores the gravity of the economic challenges facing South Africa. While it may temporarily alleviate the immediate financial strain, it also highlights the need for comprehensive, sustainable fiscal reforms to address the root causes of the crisis. One of the key factors contributing to the precarious state of South Africa's public finances is the underperformance of the economy. Minister Godongwana emphasized that economic growth has fallen short of expectations, which has had a direct impact on revenue collection. The nation's inability to achieve the anticipated economic growth rates further exacerbates the fiscal dilemma. As the government relies on tax revenue to fund public services and cover debt obligations, the shortfall in economic growth places immense pressure on the budget. To address this issue, measures to stimulate economic growth are crucial, but they also require careful consideration and effective implementation to achieve meaningful results. The grim financial outlook painted by Minister Godongwana raises important questions about the implications for the average South African citizen. As the government grapples with escalating debt levels and a struggling economy, the consequences are felt across society. Reduced public services, higher taxation, unemployment, and inflation all cast long shadows over the daily lives of South Africans. A significant increase in debt servicing obligations means less funding available for public services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure development. The quality and accessibility of these services may suffer, impacting the well-being and livelihoods of ordinary citizens. To address the fiscal crisis, the government may resort to tax increases as a means of generating additional revenue. This could place a heavier financial burden on the average South African, reducing disposable income and affecting overall living standards. A stagnant economy and reduced government expenditure can lead to job losses and hinder job creation efforts. High unemployment rates have far-reaching social and economic consequences, including increased poverty, crime, and inequality. A weaker economy can lead to inflationary pressures, increasing the cost of living for South Africans. This can impact purchasing power and standards of living. In response to Minister Godongwana's dire warnings, the Democratic Alliance, DA, has articulated its alternative medium-term budget proposal. Dr. Dion George, the DA's finance chairperson, has outlined several key areas of focus for their proposal, including economic growth, load shedding, and corruption. The DA's emphasis on economic growth aligns with the concerns raised by the finance minister. They propose measures to stimulate economic activity and create job opportunities, which, if implemented effectively, could address some of the root causes of the fiscal crisis. Additionally, their stance on corruption reflects a shared concern that mismanagement and graft erode public finances and hinder economic progress. Wits University's Professor Alex van den Heever has weighed in on the government's fiscal crisis, offering a critical perspective. According to the professor, the crisis is policy-induced and primarily driven by irresponsible expenditure that harms the public. He asserts that the government is pretending to be fiscally responsible. Professor Van den Heever's viewpoint highlights the importance of prudent fiscal management and policy choices in avoiding crises of this nature. It underscores the need for transparency and accountability in government spending to ensure that resources are allocated efficiently and responsibly. In conclusion, Minister Godongwana's candid assessment of South Africa's public finances has brought to the forefront a sobering reality: the nation is teetering on the edge of a fiscal precipice. The alarming levels of government debt, underperforming economy, and looming risk of running out of money pose significant challenges to the country's financial stability and the well-being of its citizens. If you found this video informative, please click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time.